Hello YouTube, I'm back for season 2 as promised. In this season we are going to build a tool that is my personal project. I also talk about it in season 1. During the developing journey, I'm going to share with you all the techniques I used to make the whole thing happen. This is the first episode of season 2, so I'm gonna do a quick demo of what exactly we're going to get in the end of season 2. All right, let's start. So in the end of it, we are going to have a thing. We just double click on it. It will bring up a window, which is the main interface for our tool. It's kind of like this. It can auto adjust the width and expand all those kind of like areas. Yeah, to give us more space to work on it, right? And the tool will be able to communicate with the database to do all those things people call CRUD, C-R-U-D, like create tables, read data, update data, also like delete data. And then in the same time, the tool will be able to manage a file system, like for subfolders and files or whatever they are. Let me put it this way. Say one day I was working on a project and I did some research. I found a lot of interesting pictures, files, and then whatever, or even articles. And at a later date, we want to do a presentation of our project. And so then the tools has all those raw materials organized in one place. So then we can just fine tune them into a whatever, like a PowerPoint or something like that, to present it to people, right? So this is the main idea of this tool, because we are always multitasking, so working on different stuff in the same time. So yeah, I think a tool like this will help us to go through the whole thing. And also, when I was prototyping this thing, I had some new idea. It's more like taking some screenshots. I never did it before, but after I did some research, it's quite easy to achieve. And also the tool will have the capability of drag and drop files. If we have a file, we want to keep it in our current project, we can just simply drag it into our tool, so the tool will know where to save it, something like that. And also I added a tagging system. It's pretty simple, but it's very helpful. It's more like adding extra dimension to our data. And for sure we have a search function, so we can either search by tag or the content. It's just like it can work multiple ways. Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. And also I customized the editor a little bit. Maybe it's not called modified editor, it's kind of adding a timestamp into the editor. So it's more like, okay, so for now I'm doing something like this, and at a later time I do something else. So yeah, the tool will keep tracking our footprints, right? And this is the first episode. I'm going to do some housekeeping stuff. If you watched my season 1, you probably know I have a documentation folder, which is my Google Drive public folder. This folder will always be there. It keeps all our episode notes plus the code we work on for each episode. So it's more like when you open it up, it looks like this. You can see this S2E1 is the latest one. If I do a save, whatever you are looking at here will be saved into this folder. There is a file called dashboard.html. Just download it, open it. You will get exactly same content as we are looking at here right now. Okay. And for season 1, we were using IntelliJ Scene Builder JavaFX library. We are going to need it for season 2 as well. And same, we are going to use the same VM option to set up, the IntelliJ, and the JavaFX stuff. And we have some new thing to we are going to need. So the first one is the Sqlite 3. This one is a database library. So because we are using Sqlite database, this one is pretty cool. It's a file system database. It doesn't require any installation. It's more like standalone. You use it, it will be there. Nothing else. It's very lightweight, but in the same time, it's very powerful. Sqlite team did an awesome job. I'm a big fan of it. And the second one is called Sqlite Studio. This one is more like a GUI tool. Instead of we use command line to find out what exactly in database, we can use a GUI tool. So for me, I'm a big GUI fan. So yeah, it's just make it a lot easier for me. I'm kind of lazy to type out all those commands. All right. And the third one is called Logback. This one is a tool which gonna help us to do some logging stuff. In season 1, for all those logs, we were using system.out print line, right? So then we're gonna see the log in our console. But in season 2, we are working on a more complex stuff. So logging into the console sometimes is very hard to keep checking where exactly it goes wrong, right? So I'm gonna use this logback kind of tool to help us to do this, to keep our log in a file. So then we can do some debug or whatever a lot easier than just looking at the console. If you heard the news about log4j vulnerability, this one I did some basic research. I think this one is totally independent from that. But if you have the security concern, this one is optional. You can skip it. But for us, we are just making a basic desktop application. We are not, open this thing to the internet. So yeah, I think it's perfectly safe, but this is optional. It's not mandatory. The last one is called JSoup. You probably know this one if you were doing the web, scripting stuff. But for our purpose, we only need one function of it, and we only use it at one place. Yeah, it's kind of a thing that we just use the minor part of it. All right, so feel free to go to all of this URL to get all of them, on your computer. The URL I posted here, they are all safe. It's all either coming from maven.org repository or the GitHub. So yeah, they are pretty safe. All right, this thing is kind of I'm kind of a little excited for this. I hope you feel the same. If you are interested in this kind of thing, you can find me in the following episodes. All right, see you in the next one.